Okay, welcome to another edition of International Soccer Break. I'm your host, Sahil, and I'm here with Rahi and Chris Brown. What are we going to be talking about today, Chris Brown?
What going on, boys? Reggae Boyz. That's why we're here.
The
Big year.
Reggae Boys. Big year, big, huge year. And today we're going to talk about the top moments of the year as we get closer to New Year's. We got to recap the year, show a couple highlights. We're not going to show the highlights, but we're going to talk about the highlights and some of the awesome things that happened for all you Reggae Boys fans out there. So let's break it down.
It was kind of an up and down year, Chris. Wouldn't you say? I mean, it started off, I don't know, and then ended with the bang.
Yeah, I think a promising start. Sort of maybe the theme is they're progressing to, I think, where they want to be. Maybe not 100% the way all the way there yet. You know what you aspire to if you're the Reggae Boys. And look, it's CONCACAF. It's all about the two teams at the top, Mexico and the USA. It started off with a draw as the Azteca in the 22-23 Nations League, first competitive match for Coach Hallgrimsson. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough to get to the semifinals of the Nations League, but they had a strong showing at the Gold Cup. And finally, at the end, they do find a way to get past Canada and into their first ever Nations League semifinal. So overall in the year, I say I would give it a solid B. I think if you're looking at an A, maybe you find a way to win one of those tournaments or get to a final. But I think, it's a solid first year performance for Coach Hallgrimsson. You were able to bring in some nice recruits. Demarai Gray in particular, I think, was the headliner. He really made an impact in the final third. Every time he was on the field, he was, if not scoring or assisting goals, drawing some of the pressure and attention off of guys like a Michael Antonio or Leon Bailey, who a lot of times plays like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders. So it's good to get an attacking option like him out there and potentially bring in more recruits because
we'll talk about that. I want to ask you about that for sure. But let's just go to this quick graphic. So there's a little tweet action. Some of the highlights of the year. What stands out for you guys from this?
Are you surprised? Jamar Nicholson, top scorer. Did that surprise you? I mean, he came on late. I think that's partially why that he's top there. But he had there were times when he wasn't scoring in between, but really impressive end to the year. I think this is funny because it's missing the biggest achievement in some ways. It says they're qualified for the semifinals of the Nations League for the first time ever, but what they did and how they did that was massive, right? That was the big moment for me.
Absolutely. That was their first win on Canadian soil, to update that last video. It's never been done in the history of the program. So another big momentous accomplishment there. And then qualifying for that third now Copa America that they have, that's going to help bring in more money for the program. And, just what they do with the money once they have it, a little sketchy. But, just to be able to get more competitive fixtures and bring more revenue into the federation, I think that only helps.
I love how all these big accomplishments, and then the one that has to be here is first time defeating Trinidad and Tobago in 7 years. Like that, that rivalry will never disappear, huh, Chris? Like it's like you have to put that there, right? So yeah.
Of course, we were a little worried early back in March. Had a couple friendlies that did not go well, and no, the result was really a surprise when Nicaragua got replaced with Trinidad and Tobago in that Gold Cup group. I was a little worried about it, but no, for 4-1 thrashing, and yeah, it's always great to beat your toughest rival, and I think Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, that one, that's really the top two teams in the Caribbean. It goes back quite a while.
Yeah.
Bragging rights. What's your Hallgrimsson take? What's your grade so far? The former dentist, now former Iceland manager, now Jamaica, of course, but came in with some reputation of taking smaller nations or nations with less limited success to big dreams. So, how do you feel about him at this point?
Yeah, it's interesting. When he started his press conference, his initial remarks, and they really kind of made me stop and take notice. He said that between the Iceland and the Jamaica job, he said that the Jamaica job is the one he saw that had more potential. So I'm hoping what that means, if he saw that, is that they see a way that Jamaica could potentially, by the end of his tenure, either qualify for a World Cup or come away with a CONCACAF trophy. As far as a grade, I'd probably also give him a solid B. Didn't manage to get the wins over Mexico or the United States, which again that's always going to be the benchmark. Had some good games, came close, but he's definitely, we'll give him a B plus because of what he did. Turning around that second leg in the Canada game, playing Damian Lowe in the midfield. That really just kind of saved the season, and yeah, it gives a lot of hope looking forward.
Well, he's got 2 chances next year, the U.S. and Mexico coming up next year. So he's got them both, Nations League and then Copa America. Every opportunity to get that big result.
So let's talk about next year for the Reggae Boyz. And so we're coming up upon New Year's here. So we got to put out some resolutions. So what I want from you guys is, what are the dreams? We're not talking about what's the expectations. We're talking about what are the dreams for Jamaica next season.
I think you got to dream big. You got to dream Copa America. I think the Nations League is an interesting one. There's opportunity there, but my focus, if I'm Jamaica, is that Copa America allows enough time, perhaps, to get even more reinforcements, some more dual nationals that are on the fence. That summer could be the perfect moment to make a huge statement, and this is an achievable group. The dream is a semifinal of the Copa America. That's the dream, I think.
That's a really lofty goal. I think that's one I'd really be dreaming. I think if they could pull that off. The one that I think maybe is a little more attainable, you talked about who they may be able to recruit in the squad. Maybe that's easier to do in June than in March, but I think getting a CONCACAF trophy and finding a way to win those 2 games in the Nations League, that would really be the dream that I think is not just a dream, but probably the closest to reality.
Okay, so if you had one dream player, who's coming up? Like who do you think legit? I'll give you both, a dream player and then one you think legit might happen this coming year.
I'd say the one that I'm hearing, and it's always a question with the passport. How far along in that process are we? But Reece Nelson, he's typically a reserve winger for Arsenal. That's the one that I'm hearing is probably the closest to becoming a reality, maybe a little bit more of a dream. I say the other one that might also be close is Tyrick Mitchell. He's the starting left back for Crystal Palace. Those would be the 2 I would say would be the most likely. And look, until that passport is in hand with the the barcode and the name on it, it's always a dream.
Yeah. No, I think it's a big year coming up for Jamaica for sure.
It is a big year. It was a dream with Demarai Gray, right? I thought, and he's here now, right? And he's had a huge impact. What a year he's had. Made a big difference for Jamaica. So you can only imagine what a couple more reinforcements can do.
Absolutely.
Well, big year coming up ahead. Chris, what's the spot in Jamaica for New Year's Eve celebrations? Where's the place to be?
I'm sure it's got to be somewhere in either Kingston or Montego Bay. Maybe a beach out in Montego Bay or Ocho Rios. Yeah. That's what I'd be thinking. I won't be in Jamaica for New Year's, but if I'm going down there, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay,
so that's where we should go to celebrate the Copa America trophy in July. That's where we need to go.
Ooh, to be determined. I got to do a little more research on Jamaica Reggae Boy YouTube before I can get you that answer.
All right,
That's
plan it,
2024.
Gonna be a big summer, man. We gotta find the spot. Pre-book the celebrations now for the summer.
Yeah. All
Absolutely.
all you Reggae Boys and Jamaica fans out there, tell us in the comments, where are you partying for New Year's, and where should we go after Jamaica takes home some kind of, accolade in Copa America? But look, I think it's been a good year for the Reggae Boys. We've all, enjoyed watching the team. I think as fans of the US, it's good to see a local rival doing well, as it makes the region stronger across the board. And you know, I think it can only go up from here for Jamaica. So I will end there. As I always say, keep watching the beautiful game. And Chris, as I always do, I'll give you the last word as we head into the new year.
All right, Reggae Boys. Excellent 2023, and we're looking forward to 2024. Let's get it. Just getting started.